Hey, what up, guys? This is Fula again with another commentary video. Um, this video definitely did stick out like a sore thumb. It was sent to me by a friend of mine, and he said, and he was just talking to me. He just said, I can see why you're reclusive and you stay to yourself. I can see why you don't even like. He even said that, like, women may look at you like today. We were in Melrose Avenue in Los Angeles, and he's like, a lot of women were looking at me, and I said, yeah, I didn't even notice them, man. My mind was somewhere else, bro. And this woman basically is basically gonna break down why my mind was somewhere else. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna just give my little 2 cents about what she's talking about. But let's continue.
And she's like, oh my gosh, me and my friends went out and nobody was like trying to get at us. Nobody showed interest, nobody anything. And a guy duetted it or stitched it, and he actually said, well, look what you women have done. Like, this is what you wanted, correct? So I want to piggyback off of that.
Okay, yeah, he's absolutely right. The thing is about these modern women today is they want to have their cake and eat it too. So in one note, they may say, oh, no guys approached us, we got all dressed up and stuff like that. But on another note, when those guys are gonna approach them, they're gonna be like, get away from me. They're gonna be very extra rude. They're gonna be like snotty, you know what I mean? They're gonna stick their nose up at those guys mostly. That's basically what's gonna happen if those guys were to approach them. So that's why the guys didn't approach them. Let's continue.
Ladies, y'all, not all of y'all, but you guys wanted this whole, oh, leave us alone. You guys are perverts. You guys are weirdos. Like,
Yeah, and I want to go piggyback off of that too. That's what these women wanted, with the Me Too movement and toxic masculinity and things like that. And it's just that niggas are just being men. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here in front. But if I see a girl with like a nice behind, I'm gonna take a glance. I'm not gonna sit here and just be like, yeah, it's just part of a nigga's nature to take a glance. It doesn't mean that you have to look and oogle over it, but even a glance is a problem for these women nowadays. And you should be taking it as a compliment that a nigga is looking at it. But nowadays, niggas don't even do that. But let's continue.
hate men thing, you guys are on this fucking bandwagon to like, you hate men. What is the fucking goal of this? What is the point?
Well, I can answer that. The goal of it was, on one end, it was to basically prove a point that men or women are better than men, women are smarter than men, women are much more capable of men. That was the whole point of that whole thing. It had nothing to do with, the thing is, it had nothing to do with equality. The whole movement of feminism had nothing to do with equality. It had to do with something much more sinister. Okay, but the unfortunate thing is, I'm just going to keep it a buck. I'm just going to throw it out there. When white people decided to conjure up this movement, like black people everywhere, even back home in Africa, they bought into it. And so this is where we are right now. And that was the whole point. It's just to show that men or women are better than men in their minds, and that that men should basically be looked at as weak and just basically worship the ground that they walk on. But let's continue.
This, because you know what you guys are doing? You're ruining it for the women who do want to be approached. You're ruining it for the women who are shy and do want that guy to come up.
Now, at a time, you can say that even when a woman was shy, usually what she would do is she would send her friend up to you and be like, hey, my friend's a little shy. She kind of want to talk to you though. It's like she kind of want you to like spit, you know what I mean? That used to be the case, but now you can't really spot out the shy women. And the reason why you can't really spot out the shy women is because most of them are using social media, and anywhere you go, they are taking selfies. So when you there may be a shy woman who takes a selfie, right? But you wouldn't know she's shy because she's taking a selfie. So this creates problems, you know what I mean? And then as for the women who want dudes to approach them, I think there's a way around it. They just have to let them know that they're interested in subtle ways, like maybe ask for some directions, or maybe bump into them or something like that. Niggas aren't gonna be tripping off of that. You know what I mean? But let's go. Let's continue.
Does that make sense? And you also are ruining it for the guys who are great guys, have great intentions. Maybe they're just nervous when they come up to you, so they're shy and like anxious, and you take that as them being a pervert or weirdo. Where does this lead?
Okay. Well, as for those guys who are nervous and things like that, they shouldn't be nervous. And also, more or less, those guys that she's talking about being nervous, they may be simps because of the simple fact that they are nervous. And I think maybe women can sense that, and then women will just immediately maybe entertain him and then take him for all he's worth. You know what I mean? So that's probably, that may be the case with those nervous ones, because a real stay down dude, he shouldn't be nervous, or if he is nervous, what he's gonna do is he's gonna keep a poker face. You know what I mean? Because I've been in situations where, for example, let me think of a couple of situations I was in. Yeah, I was in one situation where I didn't expect her to give me the attention. It was this Creole woman, and she just straight up said, what up? And I just said, what up? You know what I mean? I just kept it cool. But granted, I was like, oh shoot, who would ever thought that she would turn this way? Because I was minding my own business. But I think there's a way around that nervousness. You know what I mean? A guy shouldn't be nervous around these females, because I'm gonna tell you why a guy shouldn't be nervous around these females or show a sign of nervousness. I mean, most of these females show everything as it is anyway, especially these LA females. But let's continue.
Up to, I honestly want to know what the whole point of this is, because at this point it's gonna come to nobody wants to come up to you, and she's like,
okay, well, it's already at that point.
Nobody's gonna talk to you, nobody's gonna try with you, and everybody's gonna be thinking, damn, he's not.
Okay, so it's already at that point, though. That's the thing. It's already there. If you're still dry approaching women, then it's like, I guess I can say kudos to you, but at the same time, you're almost falling into a trap in doing so, because chances are, if you do approach them, you are going to be reprimanded for approaching them. They're going to be like, how dare you approach me? How dare you do this and that and the other? Okay. The thing is I don't know how true these videos are. I really don't know how true these what would you do videos are. But here's the thing. The bag is what matters for most of these females, is the bag. And what I mean by the bag, I mean the finished result. So you see these videos with these women, the guy comes up to them, they say, oh, I have a boyfriend, you know what I mean? They'd be like, oh, yeah, my boyfriend would be tripping and stuff like that. But then the guy comes with this like foreign car, like a Ferrari, a Wraith, or something like that, and then she changes her tune, right? At first, she may be giving attitude to him, like "get away from me" and stuff like that. But then when she sees that car, that's when it all changes. So that's the whole situation where we're at right now with these women.
Not interested in me. So ladies, you guys wanted men to back down from it. So are you guys going to step up to the plate? Are you guys going to start asking guys out? No. Are you guys?
Okay, partially agree, partially disagree. They listen. You can be fit, you can be in shape, you can be like chiseled out of your mind. But then a woman won't say a word to you, right? However, you can be ugly as I don't know what. But if you pull up in that Wraith, she's gonna be all over you, no matter how you look. Okay? Even my friend, like one of my business associates, right? He got a new BMW. Okay, he got a new one, and that thing is pretty sick. I'm like, yo, this thing is pretty nice, you know. He even let me drive it. You know what I mean? And I kid you not. I was necks were turning on every corner, and smiles were coming from every direction. And then when I went back in the car, you know, he's like, "So what do you think?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, this is a pretty good ride. It's pretty smooth." And he's like, "Yeah, what do the ladies think?" And I said, "Yeah, they think I'm cute now." You know what I mean? I just straight out said it. I said they don't see a bearded, they don't see this like rugged featured, big bearded, braided nigga anymore. They see Rico Suave. And so that's what I think it comes down to. They're not gonna approach like a normal guy. You know what I mean? Hypergamy is very real. So they're not going to approach a guy who like is, let's say, working at should say he's working as what's a good, let me think a good thing. Yeah, they're not going to approach a librarian, or they're not going to approach like a teacher, or they're not going to approach a person like that, someone who works at a retail store. They're not going to approach those type of people. Someone who works at a fast food restaurant, they're not going to approach these people, you know. But let's continue.
Gonna start going up to dudes and saying, "Hey, let me take you out to dinner. How about you come over to my place at 8 o'clock and I'll have dinner made for you. What's your favorite food to eat? I'll make it for you."
The problem is most women don't even know how to cook anymore. You know, that's another thing too. That's another video in itself, basically. I'm not gonna even lie to you. I'm not gonna even toot my own horn. I cook better than 90% of these women, to be honest with you. Like, to be honest with you, to be keep it a buck and keep it funky. These Western women don't got, as Denzel Washington said in Training Day when he said King Kong don't got shit on me. These Western women don't got shit on me when it comes to cooking. And I'm willing to put that on my life. Okay. Hell, you know, I'm gonna be real, because cooking is survival tactics. Heck, niggas learn how to cook because it's survival. You know, you don't want to eat out all the time, because what's available when you eat out most of the time is just processed foods, and you just need real ingredients. You know, you don't need things that have chloride, monoxide, and this, that, and the other. You need things that just say water, salt, and such and such and such. You know what I mean? Just ingredients that you know how to read. But on that note, like, to be honest, you know, my breakfast, the way I cook breakfast outweighs how most of these females out here cook dinner. Yeah, I'm not even trying to be arrogant or anything like that. It's just the truth. But let's continue.
I highly doubt that's going to happen, but my whole point of this is I'm not understanding the whole I hate men movement, because in the end, what does this do for us? Especially like if you have kids and you have sons, you're teaching your sons to hate men because you hate men? I don't get that. Like,
And that's why the dangers of the single mother, and no disrespect, especially the black single mother, is what's very threatening. Because what happens is like that dude, the son, he gets told that niggas ain't this, niggas ain't that, and he becomes a simp, and he ends up like sticking up for women all the time, 24/7, not realizing that woman was the problem all along, and the guy never was the problem. Or if the guy was the problem, he wasn't the only problem. It just wasn't him. But the guy who was raised just by his mom and is taught that niggas ain't this and that and the other, then that becomes like he in essence carries on her baggage. And so most of the time he's not gonna like, and I'm not saying that he has to get along with all guys or anything like that. Well, what I'm saying is that he will end up being very spiteful and just, like getting in certain situations which will end up in conflict because he was taught to hate niggas so much. I'm not saying that you have to like niggas, but just be natural, but still like, you know what I mean? Just don't carry your mom's weight on your back when you're like having daily interactions with like other dudes. You know what I mean? But let's continue.
can somebody like explain this to me? Because I really don't get how this is all working out in anybody's favor. Because I feel bad for all the good guys that are out there, and then I feel bad for the women who are very shy and want a guy to approach them, but now there's guys not approaching them because of women who have ruined this whole little thing.
And that's true. The thing is about the good guys is, I think for the most part, good guys have, alhamdulillah, they've gotten on their grind, and they've gotten their like money up and stuff like that. So they just like go travel, and they have a jump off like in Brazil, jump off in Thailand, jump off in Philippines. So it has it it has worked to their favor. You know what I mean? And I'm not suggesting just swirling or anything like that, but in essence, what the good guys have done is they have like realized that the world is spacious, and there's a this is not it. They're not limited to the United States, and I'm mostly speaking to black men. In the United States, that's like the core audience I'm really speaking to. Although myself, I'm not black American, but I'm still black at the end of the day, and I still experience the most of the same things from being over here for quite a long time now. But I think with the good guys, though, they've caught on. A lot of the good guys have caught on, and they've gotten themselves passports. They've seen the world, and they realize that there's other things out there that don't involve toxicity and things like that. As for the shy women, I don't know what to say about them. I think that personally, I like shyness from a woman. You know what I mean? I kind of like that because it just shows that she's not just out there like that. Um, because I'm gonna be honest with you, when you look at these Instagram pages and stuff like that, all you 90% of the women on there are twerking, okay, or showing something. There's this one new challenge. I think it's called something like grape challenge or something. I think it's based off of an Afrobeat song, and all you see are these topless women doing these gyrating hips. And yeah, it's cool to look at. It's cool to look at. I'm not gonna lie to you and sit here and cap and say, I don't want to look at that. But at the same time, is that really shy? You know. And at the same time, what they'll say, this is what they'll say when they're doing the twerking and stuff like that. They'll say they're embracing their femininity or whatever the case may be. They're embracing their divine feminine. And so when they're doing pole dancing, they'll say the same thing, but it's like, bruh, you, okay, you you can hide promiscuity and lewdness and thought behavior behind being quote unquote woke and divine feminine, but it's still what it is, thought behavior. That's why when me man, I'm a petty nigga sometimes. But I mean, even with Velvet, the former Carbonation member, she claims these divine titles, but at the end of the day, she was writing cop carousels 25/8. That's why she got another kid. Okay? So it's like you can claim that all you want, but I mean, your behavior still shows. But I think for us guys, we're winning. I think like with us guys, we're in a pole position right now. We're really in a pole position. I'm gonna tell you why, and then I'm gonna end this video. We're in a pole position right now because of the simple fact that since we don't want to give the energy to approach these Western women and what have you, we find that now, you know, we can get on some other stuff. We can get going on some other stuff, and we can level up, and then with the passports we go wherever we want. You know what I mean? And then the women there we come across, we don't have that headache. I just had a friend actually who married a Kuwaiti woman. You know, and he said that it was the best decision he made to do that, because he says that when he gets home, like she has dinner ready, she rubs his shoulders and things like that. And so that's a good look for him. Even me, you know just dealing with the just dealing with like African women and things like that. You know, like I there's been a point where like um where me and the late great Ermias Ascadon have had discussions about that, and he said that when he went back home to Eritrea, that the women actually washed his hands and stuff like that and had food ready for him, and actually just like really looked out for him, because he was doing his job and she was doing her job. Now you ask a Western woman to do that, and they're not going to do that. They'll think that they're you know they can't. They'll think of it as like them of misogynistic and things like that. And even in my experience, when I remember going to the Guinean homegirl's house, and there was like a Cameroonian chick there. That Cameroonian chick, she didn't even let me lift a finger. She asked me like, "Oh, what do you want? What kind of food do you want?" And she even got my plate. So, it still exists, but it's hard to find now, because all of these toxic women are clouding everything. And for the most part, you see the toxic women on mainstream media. You don't see the shy, good, submissive woman. They don't want you as a matter of fact, they don't want you to have that, because usually that ends up being a stable family structure if you do have that, you know. But anyhow, man, let me know what y'all think about it. To all my guy followers, do you guys code approach still? Or do you guys say forget it? I'm good on that. But anyhow,
Nobody's gonna talk to you, nobody's gonna try with you, and everybody's gonna be thinking